Welcome back, viewers. You are watching Eclectic English with Roma, and today I'm back with one more topic of your book, Flamingo, and the title of the poem is An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum, written by Stephen Spender. Let's know about the poet first. He was born in the year 1909 and died in the year 1995. He was an English poet, novelist, essayist, and a critic. Children, Stephen Spender concentrated on the theme of social injustice and class inequalities. According to him, a writer must stay in touch with the urgent political issues to give voice to the problems faced by the people. He attacks those who exploit the weaker section of the society. Now, let's come to the setting of this poem. Setting is in the classroom. As we read the title, it's an elementary school classroom. The setting is in the classroom, and that classroom is of a primary school in a slum. Now let's discuss the title, An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum. Viewers, when we think about slum, what kind of picture flashes in our mind? You must be thinking about a squalid and an overcrowded place. You must have heard of juggi, wherein all the rag pickers, beggars, or the bonded labor resides. That is what we are going to talk about today. So, slum again, makes us think about the plight of the slum dwellers. So when again we think of a slum, the picture of destitution, poverty, beggary, hand-to-mouth existence, deprivation, scarcity, hunger, then rag pickers, bonded labor, etc. All these thoughts flash in our mind, and we are bound to think that we all are living in a privileged state, and how the life of scarcity can be. The poem is the veritable account of the life of slum children. Yes, viewers, I'm talking about the life of slum children. So this poem is the altruistic effort of the poet Stephen Spender to show the grim reality of this weaker section of the society, the grim reality of these children who are residing in a slum. Background of this poem: it was written in 1964, and this is poet's political voice which is resonating through this poem. He has given the voice to the problems of the slum dwellers. The structure of the poem: it is divided in 4 stanzas of 8 lines each, and in total there are 32 lines. In first 3 stanzas, the poet poses the problem, all the troubles faced by them. In the last stanza, he gives us the solution, and the message of this poem we will discuss once I'll paraphrase it line by line. Now children, I would suggest you all to open page number 92 of your book Flamingo and silently read the poem first. After you silently read it, then I'll start the explanation. Till then you can pause the video and then you can restart. Okay, I hope you have already done that. Now come to the poem, to the explanation of the poem. I have already told you it's divided in 4 stanzas, right? So now I'm going to explain first stanza. I haven't written the lines of the poem here on the board. I want you to read it through the book. If you do not have the book right now, you can download it, following the link on internet. So this stanza 1, I will first read the lines for you. The poet says, "Far, far from gusty waves, these children's faces, like rootless weeds, the hair torn round their pallor, the tall girl with her weighed down head, the paper-seeming boy with rat's eyes, the stunted, unlucky ear of twisted bones, reciting a father's gnarled disease, his lesson from his desk. At back of the dim class, one unnoted, sweet and young, His eyes live in a dream of squirrel's game in a tree room other than this. Stanza 1 is going to tell us the predicament of these impoverished children, predicament of these poor children, and it gives us a clear picture of a school in a slum. The mood of the poet in this stanza is thoughtful because he himself is pondering about the situation of these slum children, as well as he is evoking the thoughts in the mind of the readers if they can do something to improve their condition. The tone of the poet is of desperation and misery. Now, I would explain it line by line. Be careful and listen attentively. So the poet begins in a very pathetic and miserable mood. He says, far, far from gusty waves, these children's faces. These children, he's talking about the children of slum. And he said, far, far from gusty waves. That means the faces of these slum children is far removed from the gusty waves. So he wants to emphasize the point here that how far, how removed these children are from the life of exuberance. Gusty waves means energy, exuberance. So only the privileged children can be compared to gusty waves, not these children. So his point is quite clear here. He says that, I'm sorry, you cannot compare these children to gusty waves. He further elaborates his point by saying that the line 2, like rootless weeds, the hair torn round their pallor. Now he further explains the appearance. He further highlights the appearance of these children. He says that their pallor is the palish appearance of someone. So here the palish appearance of the children. I've written the meaning here, pale appearance. So he says these children are giving a very pale appearance. Maybe they are underfed, undernourished. So all this is because of them being underfed and sickly. So the hair torn round their pallor, and these children are like rootless weeds. Like rootless weeds. Here the poet is establishing the comparison that these children look like, the hair of these children look like rootless weeds. Why? Because weeds, we know, weeds are the unwanted plants. Here the word is used rootless. That means they are rooted out, right? Weeds which are rooted out. That means these children are compared to the weeds which are already rooted out. That clearly signifies that these children are the unwanted section of the society, and rootless means they are without base. No legacy, no inheritance, no future, nothing. I hope this point is clear to you. Then the third line, in the third line he will in this stanza he will further explain the different children sitting in the class. He first begins with a tall girl. So in the third line he says the tall girl with her weighed down head. See, it's a beautiful imagery. When our head is weighed down, it's here it means that her head is weighed down because of the burden, because of the despondence, because of all those thoughts which make her feel that how impoverished her life is. Even if she tries, even if she was sitting in a class, even if she will get education, but still she cannot escape from the reality in what she was. So the tall girl with her weighed down head. I'll again tell you, this girl is weighed down because of her physical, mental and emotional exhaustion as well. Then next is a paper-seeming boy. The paper-seeming boy with rat's eyes. This is the second child sitting in the class. Is paper-seeming. Comparison. The boy's comparison is with a paper. That means the boy is so undernourished, so sickly that he is looking as thin as a paper, with rat's eyes. His eyes, he is so hollow-cheeked that his eyes are bulging out of his face, and it's giving us a very scary and a very weird look. Then next is the stunted, unlucky ear of twisted bones. One more child sitting in the class who is having a very stunted growth. Now why? Why is having that stunted growth? Because here it is written he is an unlucky ear. Why? Maybe he has inherited that disease from his father or mother, from parents, right? That is why he is referred to as unlucky. Ear, we all know, ear means one who inherits property, one who inherits wealth from someone. But here, what this poor boy has inherited? He has inherited a disease. That's why it's written the stunted, unlucky ear of twisted bones. Twisted bones may be a disease which is arthritis or any other knobbly disease which has made his bones twisted. Reciting a father's gnarl disease, and he is clearly reciting that disease which he has inherited. His lesson from his desk. So here he is reciting his lesson from his desk. So rather than reciting the lesson which was written in his book, he's reciting the lesson, he's reciting the disease which he has inherited. So this is, I would like to tell you, this is a beautiful poetic device, pun, which means double meaning, right? So here it has two different meanings. Literally, it means reciting a lesson, and figuratively, it means reciting a disease. Then one more child. At back of the dim class, one unnoted. Unnoted means unnoticed, sweet and young. His eyes live in a dream. Now, out of all the other children, there was a girl, another was a very thin boy, one was with a stunted growth, and now this is the fourth child who is different from the rest of the class. He is young. It's written sweet and young. Sweet means he's giving a very innocent look, and young, especially it's written young. Maybe he is, and his eyes live in a dream. He is young. That is why he is living in a dreamy world, right? Of squirrels, his eyes live in a dream of squirrels game in tree room. Other than this, so this boy is quite distracted. This boy wants to live the life of fun and frolic, unlike other children who has already understood the plan. So, unlike the other children in the class, this boy is quite distracted. He is dreaming of better tomorrow, and he wants to play the games of squirrel. He wants to live the life of squirrels, and he wants to play on the tree, right? So, squirrel's game is a life of fun and frolic. So, these were the key points what I had written on the board: rootless weeds, parlor, rat's eyes, weighed down, gnarled, and gnarled is naughty and twisted. And squirrel's game is a life of fun and frolic. So I hope this stanza is clear to you, and this stanza has given us a quite clear picture of the school in a slum. Now let's come to the poetic devices. First is repetition. Repetition repetition is a device which means when a particular word is repeated. So here the word far. Here the word far is repeated, right? And alliteration is the repetition of the consonant sound. So here consonant sound f is repeated in far again. Next device is metaphor. Metaphor is a device through which the poet establishes the direct comparison between the two things, right? So here gusty waves. Gusty waves, the comparison of gusty waves is with privileged children, right? So only privileged children who live a life of energy and exuberance, only they can be compared to gusty waves. Next is paper seeming boy. So here the comparison established is of the boy with that of paper, because he's quite weak. He's as thin as paper, right? Because he is malnutrition and he's underfed. Then we have simile, next poetic device. Simile means the way of establishing the comparison using the word like or as, right? So a simile here is like rootless weeds. I have already explained the meaning of rootless weeds. So these children in the class are compared to the unwanted and rootless weeds. Then pun. Pun is the usage of the line that reciting father's disease, his lesson from his death. So reciting, what he is reciting, pun is double meaning. He is reciting his lesson, right? So literally it means lesson, actually what he was studying at that time, but figuratively he is reciting the lesson, he is reciting the disease which he had inherited from his family. Then next is symbolism. This stanza is full of symbolism, so many examples are there. So one I have written over here. So squirrel's game, it means this child wants to live a life of fun and frolic. He's quite innocent child, he's having a gleam in his eyes, and he doesn't want to be confined in those hungry hutments. He wants to escape that grim reality. He wants to go out. So beautifully a poet has described, he has given us the imagery in this imagery of a squirrel playing on the trees in this particular stanza. That's it for this part of this poem, an elementary school classroom in a slum. We discussed about the poet. I shared introduction of the poem with you. We talked about the setting, we talked about the title, justification, then I told you about the theme and the structure of the poem, and I have already explained stanza 1. Now rest of the 3 stanzas I'll explain in my next lecture. That will be the part 2 of this poem. Till then, stay safe and stay healthy. And if you have liked my lecture, if you feel that it will really help you for your exams, so please don't forget to hit the like button and do subscribe my channel. Till then, thank you so much. See you back in my channel, Eclectic English with Roma. Thank you.